How's it going, everyone? I want to take you guys through some more Helldivers 2 news and updates. This isn't going to be anything super major, so just keep that in mind. I'll give you guys a heads up on the deal as well, as that has come back over at our good friends at Green Man Gaming. Got the analytics reports, but it seems like a lot of you guys are taking advantage of that deal, so that's good to see. And on top of that, we do have some news on the game. A couple of notes from the CEO that I found interesting in regards to the game's positioning in terms of the PlayStation hierarchy, and I do think Helldivers 2 will ultimately become, Helldivers is an IP, I should just say, not just Helldivers 2. Helldivers is an IP I do think is going to be a core element of the PlayStation brand, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. A couple things to consider when you do get into that discussion, but again, we'll get to that at the end of this video. But right off the top, there is a brand new major order that is live right now. The automatons have illegally occupied and mined Malevolent Creek for too long. The time has come to take it back. Order overview. Liberate Malevolent Creek, and the reward is 35 medals. The new major order notes: several weeks ago, our citizens watched in horror as Malevolent Creek fell to the automatons. Millions of valiant heroes perished attempting to defend it. For too long, the bots have maintained their illegal occupation, desecrating the memory of the fallen by rapidly depleting the planet's exceptionally rich rhodium deposits. This travesty will no longer be allowed to continue. Take vengeance for the fallen, honor our heroes, end the theft of valuable minerals, liberate Malevolent. So unfortunately, the last major order came to a abrupt end, and not abrupt end, but we just failed it. Let's just say the automatons have whooped us once again. It seems like really the automaton major orders are the ones that are causing problems, and it notes swift disassembly phase 2 failed. The automatons have retained Tibet and its manufacturing facilities. Reports indicate they have already begun increasing production elsewhere. Intercepted bot chatter includes expressions of great sorrow for the murder of in-development bots, a transparent attempt at disinformation, as bots can neither feel nor be considered alive. However, the simulated oaths of vengeance may indicate actual strategic intent. A counter-offensive is likely. I love how they add these little excerpts that do add a little bit of background and almost lore to what's going on in the world. And that's what they noted, that the narrative of this game is something that's ever evolving depending on how the players do. They have a general idea of where they want to take it, but I just feel like that adds another layer. I don't know if they're ultimately going to do crazy things in the future, like maybe a seasonal cutscene or a seasonal video that adds a little bit more depth, maybe like something that has a little bit of length to it. I don't know. There's a lot of options, and now that they have a lot of resources and we know that there's going to be a large player investment, obviously, I think what they're going to do narratively with this game probably will expand a little bit. This game isn't going to live or die by the narrative. Of course, this is a gameplay first kind of title, but I like that little layer that they have for the game. Now, for those of us, and I am included in that group, that want to know the background of what's going on in the world, it's something nice to look at, and I feel like it's humorous nonetheless. And anything that they do as far as representing this story, I feel like has been hilarious, and they have their finger on the pulse and really know how to execute Helldivers 2 in staying true to what the game is, being funny, which honestly, in today's climate, I feel like is super difficult to do, but Helldivers really does find a sweet spot and really hits home with me. I don't know, maybe some people find it cringe. I think it's fantastic how they do handle the game in totality. Moving on from that, I do want to note there was some discussion about Galactic War Impact and whether or not people should do easy missions. It was noted on the Discord page, which, by the way, great place to find information, by Spitz. This is factually untrue. Galactic War Impact is directly tied to the amount of XP earned. So that is how Galactic War Impact is handled for those of you that are looking to farm like easy missions or anything like that. This has been a discussion point for a little bit. If you are looking to spam easy missions for quick liberation. Unfortunately, liberation does not come that easily, so keep that in mind. But you have a new major order running right now, a bit of an update on the Galactic War Impact, and I do want to note a couple of things from the CEO. Now, this isn't really tied to Helldivers 2 content updates or anything like that, but there was a tweet put out, and the tweet kind of fuels console wars. Unfortunately, I'm really not a big fan of that, but this is very prevalent on Twitter and social media in general. It had a poster of the only two real gaming brands. One side was PlayStation, one side was Nintendo, so taking a dunk at Microsoft and Xbox. There was no Helldivers 2 represented, but the CEO noted, "Where is the Blue Sides champ for democracy? Democracy disapproves." And somebody else responded, "As much as I love Helldivers, it isn't a game to immediately think, oh, Helldivers, F yeah, PlayStation, not yet, but damn it, is it getting there?" And as much as some of you guys that are super into Helldivers are going to disagree with that and push back on that, I absolutely agree with that person. Helldivers is not synonymous with PlayStation as a brand. It's a big game right now. It's very much big on PC as well. It's really not a brand title for PlayStation, at least not yet. As it gets bigger, I do think it can become that, and really, it's not a brand title because PlayStation hasn't positioned it to be a brand title. The promotion of this game was an abomination from PlayStation. I'm gonna be frankly honest with you. I think they realize now that they've got something cooking here with Helldivers, but it really didn't feel like they were promoting this game and pushing this game for a long time. I go back to PlayStation Showcase of 2023, and why was this game positioned in the spot that it was? Why was Helldivers 2 not the game opening up that show, being that big showcase right off the top? Instead, they decided to showcase some CG trailer for a different live service game, a game that we don't know anything about. And I think, part of me, given the positioning of all that, I feel like Sony in their head thought that Fair Game, that was the game that opened up last year, that was going to be the brand title for them. But Helldivers 2 has kind of surprised everybody, and I feel like that should be built up to being an integral part of the PlayStation brand. Now, it should also be noted, Arrowhead Studios is not owned by PlayStation. It is not a first-party PlayStation studio, so there are some things to consider there. The CEO did also note, "I do agree with you. It's crazy that it might be in the future, like it's a childhood dream to come true." So that's obviously very wholesome. And you would like to see Helldivers 2 to get to that point. And I think it will, given that there's so much promotion attached to it. I don't know if at some point Arrowhead is going to get acquired by Sony. I am sure Sony has tried to have those discussions at this point. I am sure they want to get, you know, Helldivers and Arrowhead on board and have Helldivers as a PlayStation core property, which it is right now. This was a PlayStation published game, but Arrowhead is a second-party studio, so if Arrowhead decides to do something entirely different, they have the freedom to do that, if I understand the agreements correctly, because they're not owned by Sony. I'll also add, I do dislike the console wars in totality. I would love if Helldivers 2 was just generally available on all platforms. Like, for example, Halo is always going to be a Microsoft mascot title, but if Halo came out to PlayStation, which I really think it should at some point, I don't think it'll deter it from being a Microsoft mascot title. And I think sometime down the line, like when the next Nintendo Switch is released, there should be a discussion to put Helldivers on the next Nintendo Switch if it can run. And I don't know if it can. Like, I honestly don't know what the power level of the next Switch is, but I really wish we could just eliminate the console war discussion a lot. And why can't a PlayStation and a Nintendo come to the table and, let's say, in 2025, have a discussion about, hey, we have X older titles that we want to bring to your platform, give us Y older title in return. Like, I'm not saying eliminate the day-and-date release, but PlayStation's doing delayed releases on PC. Why can't they do something like that with Nintendo? I don't know. It's just a discussion I feel like is worth having, and I just want to push back on the console war element as much as we can, but I don't know if that day is ever going to come. Lastly, I do want to note, if you are looking to pick up Helldivers 2, our good friends at Green Man Gaming, 15% off with the code SPRING15. It typically goes for $40. You will get it for $34. A Steam key that is ready to be redeemed on Steam, and you'll be good to go. Download the game, whether you want to pick it up, whether you want to get a couple of friends on the game, no matter the case, go pick it up. GMG's a great spot. They've got a lot of great deals running right now, so definitely have a gander at that, and you might be able to find some cool stuff there outside of Helldivers 2. But if you are looking to spread some democracy for $34, no tax, you can get the Super Citizen Edition. You can get that 15% off if you do want, so definitely a good option there as well. But the base game, $34, and the Super Citizen Edition can be cheaper as well. Use the code SPRING15. Links to everything in the description box below. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a new major order is live right now after the last operation, Swift Assembly Phase 2, has been failed. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But what can you do? A bit of an update with the Galactic War Impact, that being tied directly to the amount of XP earned, so keep that in mind. And no, got a little bit of on a little bit of a tangent with the console war talk, but wanted to make note of that. And Helldivers 2 discounted at GMG. Give a look at that as well. That'll do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.